When I grow up, I want to be a doctor. Now, before you roll your eyes at yet another South Asian kid trying to follow her parents' dreams, let me explain. First off, it's a cultural thing. I've been taught my whole life to regard doctors with the utmost respect because they dedicate their lives to a purely selfless purpose. Not only that, but my own pediatrician helped me with my chronic sickness, so I want to repay that favor someday. So there'd always been a plan. High school, college, medical school, and finally a family. Maybe a gap year here or there to find myself, but the ultimate goal is clear. Until 2 months ago. I started attending these classes called Mini Medical School, a 6-session course that introduces kids to the field of medicine and hopefully helps them realize if it's the right fit for them. Seeing as I've never considered myself as anything but a pediatrician, I was pumped. I had my notebook, my trusty blue pencil, my best buds with me. I was ready. I walked in, took my seat, and proceeded to lay out my notes like the perfect student I am. The doctor plays the introductory video. A dead guy being sliced open. Okay, no big deal. We're just gonna pretend it's a doll, a large, dead, pale doll. But then, the mortician decides to lift up the skin flaps and show me every freaking artery on this guy's body. And Bonthu left the building. Next thing I know, I'm on the floor. And 10 people are staring at me with pity, confusion, and second-hand embarrassment. I quickly sat up, drank some water, and tried to endure what I knew would be 3 hours of pure awkwardness. During the rest of the session, Dr. Rubin would subtly, not so subtly, mention how it is okay to pass out. There were always a few during medical school that do. Didn't exactly help me with my embarrassment when he mentioned it every 20 minutes. Then, first thing Monday morning, I ran into a friend who happens to be a teacher's assistant for Mini Medical School. She proceeded to tell me about how the only thing the Sunday TAs could talk about was the girl who passed out in the Saturday class. When I told her it was me, she just says, "That was you. I'm really sorry." The rest of the day was more of the same. People telling me that maybe medicine isn't for me and I should find another career path. I, being stubborn as I am, decided I would make it work for me. I had already seen a body. Well, a video of a body, but a body nevertheless. There couldn't be anything worse, right? Wrong. I forgot about childbirth. Session 2 comes along, and I was feeling hopeful. I was sure that in comparison to cutting the dead open, nothing could be worse. The doctor plays the second video, live birth. Now, I've seen it several times in health class, so I was pretty ecstatic, you could say. I started doing my little happy dance in my head, praying that last week was a one-time incident. But then he continues with a video of a C-section. Knowing there would already be lots of cutting involved, I made the mature decision to not watch the video and put my head down instead. Except I didn't stick with it. I guess I was feeling a little cocky after the first video, so I would pick up at the screen every 20 seconds. Every time was more and more the same. Cutting, and even though it was horrifying, I had to prove to myself that I could watch it. Soon enough, the video was done, and Dr. Rubin asked us to come to the front table for a demonstration. I got up, but as soon as I stood up, it was clear that I had to sit down or I would have another episode. At this point, everyone's convinced that I can't handle the profession, and I start to believe it too. I start running through all my options. Chemists? I don't want to be stuck in a lab all day. Business? My emotions would get in the way of my work. Social work? People would have to console me. I was deleting college lists, changing course recommendations, and trying to find a whole new purpose in my life. When my dad asked me what I should have asked myself all along, why are you letting someone else's opinions sway your own judgment? He said, if you're truly uncomfortable, that's fine, but you shouldn't let other people's opinions change your dreams. That little pep talk got me back on track, and I was ready for round 3. So I'm reading the notes for session 3, and I come across something called a laparoscopic appendectomy and a tonsillectomy. Not knowing what either one of those were, I just clicked on the link without much thought, and immediately shoots to the inside of some guy's guts. I'm like, what is that? Oh God! And I'm about to hit the X button on the window when I decide, you know what? I'm gonna watch this. I'm gonna sit here and watch this so that when I'm watching the videos in class, I am prepared. I'm gonna start now. 2 hours before the next class. So I started with levels. First it's me in my living room with my mom on standby. The YouTube video has a sound off and it's still on that little small screen. You gotta start your way from the bottom and work your way up, right? So a minute in, I decided to turn on the sound because I was like, this is fine. And that's when things get funky. I don't know what it was because the guy was under anesthesia, so it's not like he was making any noise, and you couldn't even hear the burning. Okay, burning sounds bad. Cauterizing is really just a light burn to stop the excessive internal bleeding. Yeah. Anyways, I don't know what it was. You know how they say for a horror movie, when you turn off the sound, it's not scary at all? And then as soon as you turn on the sound, even though you know the music is ridiculous, it still adds a level to it? It was kind of like that. So surgery is basically like a horror movie. Except it's really not, because I quite enjoy horror movies, and they don't scare me at all. So I'm sitting there doing that thing where you subconsciously start saying things out loud to stop yourself from becoming scared. So I'm just sitting there, the whole house is quiet, and I'm just going, oh honey, no! Oh God! Ugh. But I did it. I finished the video. And then I went on to the tonsillectomy video, and I had to start all over again. But it's fine. It was a faster progression. Like a Pokemon, I was evolving. Soon enough, it was time to go to class. And as we're watching the videos, one of my friends turns to me and says, hey, are you doing okay? Do you need anything? And I'm like, yeah, I'm great. I'm living. Probably startled her with my enthusiasm, but I was proud of myself. Afterwards, Dr. Rubin says jokingly, hey, I'm glad no one passed out this week. And I'm like, yeah, you're welcome. I'd done it. Now all I have to do is wait for real medical school, when I have to dissect an actual cadaver. But it's okay, I'll practice on grapefruits. And if I still faint, I'll just come back the next day and start again.